The question on the screen, Himagnitakat, was a question for you to answer. We have gone over the days of the week. That should have been the first entry. I'm just going to go over this again so you'll keep in mind how this should be answered. Himagnitakat. Then you would fill in the blank. Himagnitakat. First, you want to put the day of the week. Wednesday. Himagnitakat Wednesday. And since we have gone over the month, that should be included in your response. Himagnitakat Wednesday. Akas. You're going to follow that with the date. Himagnitakat Wednesday akas pokoli tuklo akocha ushta. Himagnitakat Wednesday akas pokoli tuklo akocha ushta. This is all that we have learned how to say, but I want to today include the year. Some of you have already learned this and use it in your responses, and that's good. This is the month. I'm sorry, this is the year. Taslipa sipokni tuklo akocha awahanali. Taslipa sipokni tuklo akocha awahanali. The first word in the year stands for 100. The first word for year is 100, or it's 800, not 100. 800. The second word means old. The second word means old. So when we combine these two words, Taslipa sipokni, that tells us 1,000. Taslipa sipokni is 1,000. But we still have to give it number. We still have to give it number. So we're going to give it tuklo. Tuklo. So these three words make up 2,000. Taslipa sipokni tuklo. 2,000. Then again, we have the word akocha, just like we had in the numbers for 20. Akocha. Then we have that followed with awahanali. Awahanali, we've learned, is the word for 16. Awahanali. So this can be understood as 16 more than 2,000, 2,000 and 16 more, however you want to understand akocha. But this is how we write the year. Taslipa sipokni tuklo akocha awahanali. Taslipa sipokni tuklo akocha awahanali. So this is where you would put the year. Taslipa sipokni tuklo akocha awahanali. Himagnitakat Wednesday akas pokoli tuklo akocha ushta. Taslipa sipokni tuklo akocha awahanali. This would be how you would respond to the question. And sometimes I write this on the screen, but if you happen to come to class and it's not on the screen, still, when you come to class, give me the answer to Himagnitakat nata. You have it complete now. We've learned the days of the week. You only need to know 3. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And always make sure of your spelling. Make sure of your spelling before you send it in. I see a lot of misspellings in the numbers. So if you make an effort to spell correctly, then you won't have a problem when we get into making the sounds into words and words into sentences. Do you have any questions on this part? Good job. Good. Napanaklo Inchilikyo. Achokma. Achokma. Today we're going to look at the use of the TH, and this is not something I recommend, but I want to bring it to your attention anyway, because you're likely to hear people using the TH sound instead of the aspirated L. Okay, I do have a question here that says Tathlipa translates to 100, not 500. Oh, okay. He was thinking of Tathlapa instead of Tathlipa. Okay, there is a difference. There is a difference in the spelling, the pronunciation, and the meaning of the word Tathlapi versus Tathlipa. Okay, and we have gone over the days of the week, month. I had a slide for the month, and we'll change that as we change months. And Tathlipa Sipukni Tuklu Akochawa Hannali is going to be that until December the 31st. As far as the spellings, I don't. You only have one book for the textbook. What you might do is look in the dictionary for the spellings. I've given those slides in a previous class. So, and then also, and when you're in the chat area, you can rely on other students. They're usually willing to help you with the spellings of certain words or give you information about the previous classes that will help you. Okay, there are speakers that do not use the aspirated L sound that we learn how to produce. There are those that will pronounce it with the TH sound. We don't have the TH sound in Choctaw. We do not have the TH sound in Choctaw as we know it in English. Many speakers have stopped using the aspirated L sound. They have replaced it with the TH sound, which is not indigenous to the language. This is why I urge my students to produce the aspirated L sound, to become accustomed to using it within words and sentences. Because, like I said, many speakers have stopped using the TH sound, and I would like to, they have stopped using the aspirated L sound and replace it with the TH, or some who could not pronounce even the TH will use the sound of S. This is not my recommendation, because I would like for my students to learn how to produce the aspirated L sound and to use it in their speech. But wanted to tell you that you will hear speakers using the TH sound, and sometimes you may have to listen closely to see whether or not they are using the TH for the aspirated L. You will hear it, and you will likely know that it was the aspirated L sound that they're wanting to produce, but it comes out the TH. Many speakers use the TH sound, and you will hear that, and I just wanted you to be aware that you will hear this sound, and it's not anything new, because even in my younger days, members of my family had stopped using the aspirated L sound. But I've heard teachers tell students when they see the HL or the LH combination, they'll say, now remember that's the TH sound. I won't tell you that. I won't tell you this represents the TH sound, because it does not. It is the aspirated L. And I point this out because we do have words that have the TH written within the word. We do have words that have the TH written within the word. This is an example word. You will not pronounce this as the TH sound in English. The T and the H are sounded separately. This word is pronounced pat-ha, pat-ha. You will understand the sound of V when we come to that in the vowel sounds. This word is pronounced patha. Patha is a word that means wide or broad. This is why I cannot tell you, and I will not tell you, the TH is the sound for LH. This TH does not sound as we know it in English. We do not have the TH sound in Choctaw. In the true Choctaw speaking, we do not have the sound of the TH. And also wanted to point out to you that we do have words. Sorry. We do have words. I'll get it up here in a minute. We do have words that have the HL combination, but it doesn't have the aspirated L sound. We do have words that have the HL combination. And this word, mahli, mahli, the H and the L are sounded separately. And this is the reason why it's important that you learn the pronunciation, learn words from a speaker, because just the written language and having Byington having used the English characters, many students will mispronounce words because they want to pronounce it as we pronounce the words in English, and it doesn't work. And always listen for the highs and lows, the stresses within words. This is important to know because many people know the words, but when they put it together, it should take on a melody, just as English does, just as any other language does. But if you don't have your highs and lows in the right places, it's not going to sound Choctaw in the sense that it will sound like you're just saying a list of words and not getting the melody. This is why it's important to develop those listening skills. Your question on this word might be, how will I know? How will I know if this HL is going to be the aspirated L or not? You won't. You won't know. And that's the reason why it's important to learn from speakers. How are they going to pronounce this word? Is it mahli or is it mahli? In this case, it is mahli. And if you are acquainted with your dictionary, the reason why it's important to learn from speakers is because we do have a word. We do have the word musli, musli, but it's spelled with the short A sound, and we'll go over the V's in the next few lessons. We'll go over the sounds of the vowels, so you'll know what the V sounds like. It's the sound of a short A. We do have this word. Musli has the double consonant sound. Musli has the double consonant sound. This would be the pronunciation guide. Musli, musli. In the dictionary, you're going to find it spelled M and then the A with a dot under it, then the barred L and the I. So we'll go over how to use the dictionary as well, the Byington dictionary as we have it today, because it is difficult to understand all of these. This is why I say it's important to learn from a speaker. And a lot of the information that I give you is not going to be found in the textbook. A lot of the information that I give you will not be found in the textbook. So that's why it's important to keep your notebook, keep the notes. That way you have a reference to go back to. Monthly is the word that means true, truly. So these are some things to keep in mind. Like I said, a lot of the information that I give you, you won't find in your textbook. But this is just information for you. Any questions? And again, I want to caution you to stay out of the chat room during class time. If you want to give information, do that before class time or after class time, which usually after class the session is closed. But please refrain from using the chat room during class time. To me, that's the same as talking when the teacher's talking. Okay, next we want to go over the double consonant sounds. Double consonants represent distinct geminant sounds. When they appear, the consonant sound must be held longer than if there was only a single consonant written within the word. And this is very important in your pronunciation. Very important in your pronunciation. We have a word that is spelled H-A-N-N-A-L-I. We've already gone over this word in our numbers. The word for six. The word for six. Hanali. The word for six is hanali. Notice that you have a double consonant. Hanali. The break in the syllables comes between the double letters. The break in the syllable comes between the double letters. Hanali. So you're going to pronounce that first double, the first letter of the double consonant, with one syllable. The second letter of the double consonant will be pronounced in the next syllable, as you see here. Hanali. Hanali. And when you have a double consonant, you're going to hold that sound just a little bit longer than you would if there's just one. We want to look at a look-alike word. This is why it's important not to mispronounce. The other example word here I have is hanali. One N. Hanali is six. Hanali is the other word. Hanali. If you were to put accent marks, it would look like this. Syllables are going to carry different stresses. I know in English we know them as accents, and you'll hear me calling them accents. The first syllable will have the stress in the word hanali. Hanali. And the other word, the second syllable, will carry the stress. Hanali. Hanali versus hanali. It's important to make sure that you have the proper pronunciation, because are you meaning to say the word for six, or are you meaning to say the word for leg? Hanali. Hanali. Very important. Double consonants. Proper pronunciation of a double consonant may mean a difference in the meaning of two words, as you see here. Spelled differently, pronounced differently, and two different meanings. It's important to make sure that you have the correct pronunciation. A couple of other example words are una. And these are words that we'll be learning along the way. Another word that resembles ona is onna. Onna. Ona, to arrive there. Onna, morning or daylight. Make sure you're understood. I believe these are words that we've already had. If not, this will help you. No, we've not had this word yet. The word Allah. Allah means to arrive here. Ona means to arrive there. Allah means to arrive here. Now look at the word with the double L. Allah. Allah. Child. So the pronunciation of the double consonants is very important. Allah. Allah. Ona. Onna. Hanali. Hanali. How was your pronunciation? How was your pronunciation? Good, very good. Good job. Good job. Okay, want to talk about double digraphs. Double digraphs. Digraphs, again, are two letters that represent a single sound. Two letters that represent a single sound. And these are the SH and CH and the and the aspirated L. SH, CH are digraphs. Two letters to represent a single sound. SH, CH, and the aspirated L. Choctaw words that have double digraphs may present a spelling difficulty. Some writers show the pronunciation by writing the digraph twice. Others write it once and rely on the reader's knowledge that the word has a geminate consonant. And this is what we do. We as speakers only write the digraph once within a word, and we know what the sound is, what the sound of the word is. It does present a spelling difficulty because for learners it may be difficult to know that this SH or the CH, when you see it written twice in a word, it could be confusing and you might not know exactly how to pronounce that. But we write it once, and a lot of times if you write it phonetically out to the side of what you're writing, for instance, the word Tochina. The word Tochina, we write it with an I. The book writes it with an E. In our curriculum that we've developed that is approved by the state of Oklahoma, we write it with an I, and we understand that it is going to be a long sound. But this has a double digraph, a double CH sound. So in your pronunciation, you might write it in this way to help you remember that the CH sound is going to have a double sound. Tochina, Tochina. Also in your pronunciation guide, you might want to change this to an E. I'm sorry, I forgot to put the H in there. Tochina, Tochina. And if you'll remember, Tochina is a word for three. Tochina is the word for three. Then for the CH, I'm sorry, the SH sound, we have the word hashuk. Hashuk. Again, we write it with a single digraph, but in the pronunciation it has two. Hashuk. Hashuk. So if you're writing these words, always write the double digraph as a pronunciation guide. That will help you know how to pronounce this word when you see it again. Hashuk. Again, we write it with one SH. Pronunciation has two. Hashuk. And the word for 5 was given to us by someone a while ago thinking that this was the same as taflipa. Taflapi. The word for 5 also has a double digraph. Taflapi. And when we write taflapi, we're going to use the LH because when it's written before a consonant sound, it will be written LH. So if you were to help yourself in writing this as it sounds, you would write TALH, HLAPI, taflapi, taflapi. The word for 5 has a double aspirated L sound, taflapi. Any questions on this part? You'll have to pardon me. My nose is just really stopped up and my throat is sore. I'm sure I sound a little froggy, but I don't feel bad. I just sound bad. Okay, good. Very good. You're coming along with answering Nampanaklo Shishi. Okay. I've been drinking a lot of coffee and tea. Any questions? Do you have any questions? I like your responses. Nampanaklo Inshili Kyo. Chukma, chukma. Some of you are just saying Kyo, 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 Nampanaklo Inshili Kyo. Okay, there was a question asked a few days ago that I'm going to go ahead and address here. This had to do with I think I just wrote it like this, Nampanaklo Ishinshi, or Nampanaklo Ishinshiho. And the question was asked about this, the capital I. And I didn't address it at the time, and I said it will come during the study of vowels, but we haven't got to our study of vowels yet. So I'm going to go ahead and address this. My use of the capital vowels. When you see me write into the whiteboard, you'll see me using a capital letter. And before I go explain this, I'm going to give this next slide to you. Then I'll explain why the underline. I'm sorry, why the capital letters. In Choctaw, we have 3 vowels, A, I, and O. We have 3 vowels, A, I, and O. Each has 3 distinct sounds for a total of 9 vowel sounds. These are the only sounds that Chahta has. A, I, and O, each one has 3 distinct sounds for a total of 9 vowel sounds. we have the long vowel, a short vowel, and a nasal vowel. This is how each one of these will have 3 sounds. Each one has a long sound, a short sound, and a nasal sound, for a total of 9 vowel sounds in Choctaw. Now I'm going to go back to a blank screen, and I'm going to write the 3 rules for writing nasalization. And this is according to Cyrus Byington. He gave us a written language, and he had 3 rules for writing nasalization. Before P and B, nasalization is written as the letter N. Before P and B, nasalization is written as the letter M. Before P and B, nasalization is written as the letter M. The second rule says before T, CH, and L, nasalization is written as the letter N. Before T, CH, and L, nasalization is written as the letter N. First one, before P and B, nasalization is written as the letter M. Two, before T, CH, and L, nasalization is written as the letter N. Number 3 says, otherwise, nasalization is written by underlining the vowel. Otherwise, nasalization is written by underlining the vowel. Again, before P and B, nasalization is written as the letter M. Before T, CH, and L, nasalization is written as the letter N. Otherwise, nasalization is written by underlining the vowel. And we'll be looking at words that have each one of these rules that apply to it. I'm going to clear the screen. And we'll go back to this. Okay, we understand the rule for using the M and the N, and that's written into the words. The M and N, I almost said M and M. The M and the N are written into the word, and you'll be able to see that on the screen. But in this program, I do not have the capability of underlining this nasal vowel. I don't have the capability of underlining this nasal vowel unless each time I finish writing a sentence, I go back and use the underline function of my toolbox to go back and underline each vowel. So in order to keep from doing that, I use the capital letter When you see me using a capital letter within a word, this is for you to understand that in your writing your notes, you should underline this vowel. The capital letter, when I'm writing it, will let you know that this is an underlined vowel. So when you're writing into your notes, write it as an underlined vowel and not a capital letter. So in your writing, when you are writing back to me, and many of you do respond like this, Nampunaklo inshile kyo. Nampunaklo inshile kyo. This lets me know that you understand that this is a nasal vowel with an underline. This lets me know that you understand this capital letter stands for a nasalized vowel. When you don't use it, then I'm thinking that maybe you don't understand why I'm using the capital letter. This is my explanation for using the capital letter. This function does not allow me to underline unless, like I said, I can go back and underline each vowel that needs to be underlined. But that takes time. And I may not underline the right one. And if I do happen to write something in above that and I need to move it down, see what happens to my underline. It's no longer there. But if I use the capital letter, it moves it right along where I need it to go. Do you have any questions? Good job. Good. I like how you respond with the Katrina, why I'm not understanding amomi. I don't understand this. Achukma, achukma, achukma. If you would just write the answer as I have given it to you, it tells me you understand. When you start writing words of your choice, then I'm not understanding what you're wanting to say to me. Well, then instead of copying and pasting, if you would just write it in and send it to me, then that's going to be a bigger help to you and to me. This is like we're carrying on a conversation, but you're relying on somebody else to tell you what the answer is. Okay, good, very good. I like your responses. Kiyo napanaklo inshile kiyo. Hachokma, hachokma. And some of you are responding with simply kiyo. That's okay too. What's amachokma hoki? I haven't asked you how you are. That was earlier in the class. Okay, question here says, are ponaklo and ponakli the same? Kiyo. I don't know where the li comes in. Did I do that? I may have done that. Oh, I probably misspelled something then. If I wrote it like this, I apologize. It should have been an O. Naponaklo. And I didn't catch that. And if I wrote it with an I apologize. That should have not been an I. It should have been an O. Naponaklo is the word for question. So it should have been an O. I apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that was my fault. And I do apologize. It should have been written with an O. Napunaklo is the word for question. And it's not written with an I. That was my fault. Okay, question here says, what's the translation of le? I. I. We won't get into the pronouns until chapter 5. But le is I. I have no questions. So when you answer in this manner, you're saying, I have no questions. I have no questions. Okay, anything else? Okay, on Friday we'll begin with the Choctaw vowel sounds. And before we leave, I also want to remind you, those of you who may not know, on the Friday before Labor Day and Labor Day, there will be no classes. The Friday before Labor Day and Labor Day, which is a Friday and a Monday, we will not have classes. So you might want to write that on your calendar. So I will see you guys on Friday. Ikhʋnapisa lachaki. Ikhʋnapisa lachaki. Yakoki.